聯邦保守黨黨魁博勵治上個月喺亞省補選中勝出之後，將會重返國會。佢接受本台專訪，討論國會復會之後反對黨嘅問責工作，特別針對提高稅後收入、減少罪案、加強邊境安全、限制移民，同埋令到加拿大變得更自立自強。除此以外，佢會重點提出修改刑法，容許對非法闖入民宅、對屋內住戶構成威脅嘅人合理使用武力防衛。佢亦都喺專訪期間傾到住房、可負擔能力、香港救生艇計劃等嘅議題。而家我哋睇下較早前嘅訪問。
Thank you so much, Mr. Poilievre, for coming and taking our interview. My first question is that you'll be returning to Parliament soon. How will you ramp up your role as leader of the opposition, and what's your strategy for holding the government accountable?
Well, I will ramp up my role as leader of the opposition and hold the government to account by focusing on four main things. First, stronger take-home pay, with lower taxes and inflation to reverse the liberal cost of living crisis. Second, safer streets, by locking up the criminals the liberals keep setting free. Third, securing our borders by hitting the brakes on immigration so that our housing and healthcare and jobs can catch up with our population. And fourth, to make Canada a self-reliant country by opening the country for business, eliminating liberal taxes and red tape so we can build things fast again here in Canada. So those four things will be my priority, and we're going to oppose the liberal failures on out-of-control crime, costs, immigration, and housing prices, but we're also going to propose solutions to give Canadians a hopeful future.
Will you be pushing another non-confidence vote?
Well, there are non-confidence votes that happen all the time. So, for example, there will be a budget. We will look at it and decide whether to vote for it. But that is a confidence vote, and if we vote against them on that, then we will be voting non-confidence. We already voted non-confidence in the spring when we found out that Mark Carney was increasing spending by 8%, most of it going to new bureaucracy and consultants. We voted no, and that was a non-confidence vote. Unfortunately, he had support by other parties to get it passed. But we will look at what he proposes. If he does something good, we'll vote yes. If he does something bad, we'll vote no.
So you claim that Canada has lost $63 billion in investments since Mark Carney became Prime Minister. Can you clarify the data behind this figure and explain how you intend to reverse this trend?
It's Statistics Canada data, which shows the net outflow of investment. So what it has found is that since Mr. Carney took office, in the first 5 months he's been in power, about $63 billion more investment has left Canada than has returned. And this adds to the already roughly $800 billion that had been pouring out of the country during the Liberal decade. And what that means is that Canadian investment dollars from pension funds and RRSPs, etc., they're building factories, pipelines, mines in other countries for other workers that pay taxes to other governments. Meanwhile, our economy is collapsing under Carney's incompetent leadership, with growth, with our economy shrinking in the last quarter. Productivity was down, which means we're making less per hour worked in Canada. We have the highest housing costs, the worst household debt in the G7. And so our economy is collapsing at home, and it's really the opposite of what Mr. Carney promised. He said that under his leadership we'd spend less and invest more. In fact, he's spending more and investing less.
So other than the economy, one of the other issues that is on many minds is the rise of crime in Canada.
Right.
So you're proposing amendments to the criminal code to expand legal protections for homeowners using force during break-ins. So how would you define reasonable force, and how would you respond to the critics who say that this risks escalating violence?
Well, there's two questions. How do I define reasonable force? Well, the amendment that I propose is very simple. It says that your force, the force you use against a home intruder, is considered reasonable automatically if it meets two conditions. One, someone invaded your home without permission and against the law. And two, you believe they were posing a threat to your family. In that case, you will be allowed to use the necessary force to stop them. And that could include lethal force. And some people say, well, that's very scary. Well, you don't have to be scared. If you're not going to burglarize someone's house, you're in no risk. Don't enter someone's house illegally, and you'll have no risk. But if you break into someone's house, all the risk is on you. How do I respond to people saying this will escalate violence? What's been happening the last 10 years? The Liberal Justice Minister said it's not the Wild West. Well, unfortunately, right now Canada is the Wild West. It is insane. We saw the story of that father just the other day in the Vaughan Woodbridge area, killed trying to protect his kids in his home. We saw the story of a home invader who was raping a child, and did unbelievable, disgusting acts on a child. We see auto thefts, extortions, they're all through the roof. Canada has become a very dangerous country because Liberals continue to release violent criminals within minutes of their most recent arrest. When I'm Prime Minister, we will lock people up. 3 strikes, you're out. 3 offenses, life in prison. We will lock away the criminals and throw away the key.
So all forces are on the table in terms of home invasion?
Yes, of course. If someone invades your house, you have to use, and they're threatening your family. As long as you believe that you've been threatened, then that you are facing a threat, then you need to have the legal right to defend yourself.
Okay.
I'll tell you this, the stories are incredible. In Milton, there was a man who was arrested and charged with second-degree murder after 5 men came into his house. They tied him up. They all had guns. He broke free, pulled his own gun, shot one of the invaders, and then he was charged with second-degree murder. He had to go through 6 months of hell, pay $130,000 in bail. He was forced to live with his grandmother under bail conditions. All he was doing was protecting his family against 5 masked invaders who tied him up and were maybe going to kill him. You know, we've got to start protecting the victims instead of protecting the criminals.
So, on the topic of jobs and businesses, there are a lot of small businesses in Richmond Hill, which is here, and also in Markham, and also all across Canada. Mm-hmm. So small businesses, including many that's owned by Chinese-Canadian entrepreneurs, have been facing rising costs and, tough competition, as you mentioned. How would you support small businesses to grow and succeed in this challenging economy?
Yes, I mean, it seems like the Liberals just don't want to stop kicking and beating up our small businesses with higher taxes, higher energy prices, more red tape and paperwork. We're going to end the Liberal war on small business. We're going to cut taxes for small business. We'll also get rid of the capital gains tax. So when a business reinvests in Canada, they'll pay 0 capital gains tax. When a small business person sells one business, but they want to reinvest that money in Canada, 0 capital gains tax. This will be like economic rocket fuel for our country. It will bring home hundreds of billions of dollars of investment in factories, mines, business centers, restaurants, you name it. We're going to unlock this capital in a way that will make Canada the richest country on earth, and small business are going to lead the way.
My next question hits a little bit close to home for me.
Yeah.
So it's on the Hong Kong pathway.
Yes.
So applicants are facing really long waits with documents showing that processing time could extend beyond 2027.
Right.
And furthermore, emissions targets for the H&R category, which is where this pathway falls, is reducing in 2025 to 2027. So means that a lot of applicants are in a state of prolonged uncertainty. Will I stay here? Can I stay here? So as the leader of opposition, would you commit to pressuring the government to immediately addressing this backlog? And what are some concrete measures you would do to do so?
Well, yes. I mean, the Liberal government has destroyed our immigration system. We had immigrants from Hong Kong for generations, and it was a great success. Some of our best workers, our most intelligent business people come from Hong Kong. And they tend to be highly educated, extremely diligent immigrants to the country, but they're being pushed aside for illegal refugees, fraudulent claimants, fake international student permits, and you've got the bureaucracy is totally gummed up processing these phony refugee claims. There's now a backlog of 280,000 refugees. When the Liberals took office, it was 10,000. There's 28 times more. This is just an insane problem. It's a total disaster. There are millions of people who are supposed to leave. We don't know whether they're going to go. The immigration department is totally overwhelmed because the Liberals have let in so many people with so little control. So we need to get back to letting in only the right people in the right numbers, and that includes high-skilled business people, investors, and others who have a strong connection to Canada, who are easily integrated into our way of life, and who can make a contribution to our economy, and that would include people from Hong Kong.
That's all the questions I have for you today, but is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I just want to talk about the hope and opportunity that's ahead. I know that people feel hopeless these days. It's dangerous, expensive, and people are losing their jobs. But better days are coming. We want to restore a country where hard work gets you a great life, in a nice, affordable home, in a safe neighborhood. We want our immigrant professionals, for example, to be able to work in their field by bringing in a new Blue Seal credentialing license that they can take anywhere in Canada for more doctors, engineers, nurses. This is the bright, hopeful future that we as Conservatives want to restore for people who've been here. Doesn't matter if they've been here for 6 weeks or 6 generations. That's the country that we love, and that's the country we're going to restore.
Looking forward to that.
Yes, we all should be.
Thank you so much
Thank you very much.
for taking this interview.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
各位如果想重溫以上節目內容，可以去到本台嘅網站，點擊節目重溫裡面嘅傳媒對焦就可以啦。再會。
In the right numbers, and that includes high-skilled business people, investors, and others who have a strong connection to Canada, who are easily integrated into our way of life, and who can make a contribution to our economy, and that would include people from Hong Kong.
That's all the questions I have for you today, but is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I just want to talk about the hope and opportunity that's ahead. I know that people feel hopeless these days. It's dangerous, expensive, and people are losing their jobs. But better days are coming. We want to restore a country where hard work gets you a great life, in a nice, affordable home, in a safe neighborhood. We want our immigrant professionals, for example, to be able to work in their field by bringing in a new Blue Seal credentialing license that they can take anywhere in Canada for more doctors, engineers, nurses. This is the bright, hopeful future that we as Conservatives want to restore for people who've been here. Doesn't matter if they've been here for 6 weeks or 6 generations. That's the country that we love, and that's the country we're going to restore.
Looking forward to that.
Yes, we all should be.
Thank you so much
Thank you very
for taking
much.
this interview.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
各位如果想重溫以上節目內容，可以去到本台嘅網站，點擊節目重溫裡面嘅傳媒對焦就可以啦。再會。